Hey Redman, Happy New Year to you too. Hey Rasher and Celian. Good evening and Happy New Year to everybody. Hey Bick, good evening sir. Happy New Year's. Yeah, likewise. Lots of fun stuff happening next year. Thank you, Jar. Hope your practice is going well too. Why, I am wearing, in the spirit of Christmas just having passed, I am wearing my Guard Scorpion Build Your Own Mini Boss shirt. Hey Chaos. I'm just gonna do short standard names, cause I would like to get a chance at a PB, and if I rename the characters, it's gonna cost me at least a minute or so. I think I've established that I can play this game just fine with renamed characters. I mean, there's pretty much literally every bit of menuing that there is in the run has face portraits associated with it, so I mean, and I'm just used to it too, based on positions and stuff. When I do practice runs at AGDQ when I'm not recording, I'll rename characters. Hey, Iraeus Velar. I wish, Nirm, but sadly that's just not possible with the how the warps work. I mean, pretty much any kind of event that's like specific to well, any part of the game that has like a time limit on it can't be done in the warps route. I mean, theoretically, anything that you can just do at any point after you get the high wind could be done, but like fighting the weapons, but. Sadly, that was never really an option just because it adds an hour to the run. It's cool, but I wasn't able to get the extra hour to do it. Kynos did it for ESA, though, and it was a lot of fun to watch. But the Gold Saucer fireworks are with us in spirit in the form of my first experiment with chroma key on my timer. Hello, Danzy. I mean, maybe in hindsight I should have at least learned the strats for the weapon fights, so in the event that, like, the marathon needed more filler time or whatever, I could offer it last minute, but, I mean, it's too late. It's too late now to learn it competently, because, Emerald Weapon especially is a pretty involved fight. Well, I hope so. I'm gonna try a different safety strat of getting the Mega Elixir instead of going back to Bone Village to buy healing items. It's probably gonna be a little slower, but I have high hopes that that'll prevent me from wiping the way I did last time, from basically getting a task of bad luck. Well, the strat for Emerald Weapon is to actually use the warp glitch in a way that makes it so that you go and fight Sephiroth like you do normally, but the game doesn't actually end after you do so. So after you've beaten Sephiroth, because of the final story battle that Cloud fights in his mind, where you get Omni Slash, all of Cloud's limits get unlocked. So you can you basically get all of Cloud's limits for free, and then you can use Omni Slash to fight Emerald Weapon, along with doing lots of duplication with Mega Elixirs and other stuff. Bad better, since he dodged that. Sucks that I had to have Barret attack, but his limit gauge wouldn't have gotten filled otherwise. Hey, Sly Envy, Happy New Year to you too. Happy already New Year to anybody watching in Europe. Okay, this should kill him. Yeah, I'm gonna do another run tomorrow, but that's pretty much all I'm gonna have time for before I leave Friday night. I'd really like to get a sub 245 at least, but we shall see if that's in the cards. Because these splits have a lot of mistakes, but also a lot of really good luck is the thing. I mean, like my power-up segment with duplicating the sources was basically perfect. I didn't have to reset at all. Well, XeroKynos has several runs that defeat the weapons in his VODs. I don't honestly know if I'm ever going to do it myself now, just because I'm not planning to stay with FF7 PC after AGDQ, outside of like special occasions. I'd rather go back to PlayStation, just because it's so much easier to practice, and also to record. Maybe races, although this isn't exactly a very good version of the game for racing, just because of the frame rate inconsistencies. I think the people that do race PC FF7 do stuff to artificially limit their frame rate to 30 FPS. Which doesn't really, I don't really like the idea of limiting the game. Hey, the game. Biggest single place I can gain time on these splits is Bizarro Sephiroth. I can gain about 2 minutes just on that alone if I have a really good fight. Another unfortunate thing about the Warps route, too, is that I can't even name all of the characters, too. Like, I can only actually name the characters that I meet in Midgar. Even though I use Sid in the end of the run, I can't rename him. Because I skipped the part of the game where I recruit him. Holiday was good. Just had some low-key get-togethers with family, both around where I live and around where I grew up. Had a super slow week at work this week because of so many people being on vacation. Just have to work Friday and then I'm off the next week for AGDQ. Yeah, Cloud's getting on the hype train now, for the first of many times. You know, I should try text mashing on the keyboard for my laptop during some of these longer cutscenes, just because I know it's slightly faster than with my controller because of less input lag. I think that's a big part of why Kynos is so much faster than me, is because he plays on keyboard. Along with just being better at PC FF7 and taking a riskier route than I do. Hey, good evening, John. Low Inf Outlaw. Only Europe and like Asia are in 2015 yet. Where I live, it's still 2014 for another 2.5 hours about. Yeah, like notice how the text is going a little bit faster. It's just because I'm mashing on the keyboard instead of on my controller. But I like playing this game much more with a controller than keyboard controls, which is why I'm doing it. Hey Garrick, Happy New Year to you too. And belated Happy New Year's to anybody watching from Europe or Asia. Yeah, Hawaii, I think, is probably the last, like, major inhabited part of the world that passes New Year, just because like pretty much everything to the west of Hawaii is past the like that has major cities at least is past the international dateline. The U.S. has 6 main time zones. I think 7 if you include Puerto Rico, which is a territory. Thank you, Harima. Yeah, continental US has 4 time zones, and there's Alaska and Hawaii that have their own time zones. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Empty Eye. Looking forward to seeing you in a few days. Now, Arizona is just weird in their non-conformity with daylight savings time. I know there's some parts of Canada I think too that are like that. Like I think Saskatchewan is Central Standard Time year-round, which effectively makes it Mountain Time I think during DST. Hello, Goku. Some states in the US have multiple time zones too, like Indiana has the parts of the state that are basically just suburbs of Chicago are on Central Time, and I think the rest of the state's Eastern Time. Well, I travel a fair amount for work, and I also work with people all over the country at different offices and stuff, so I'm pretty familiar with time zone conversions. Even more so since I started getting involved with Twitch too, because of interacting with people from other countries a lot more often. No! I want my hoverboard. Hey T-Flower, doing pretty good. How about yourself? I want my MTV. Yeah, time travel will happen some days, thanks to the powers of a alien planet-consuming parasite. Yeah, it's been a couple of years actually since I've actually done anything for New Year's. I used to get together with some local friends, but for a party they had, but they stopped doing that a few years ago after their first kid was born. Hey, Volodnia. Hey, Villagin. Preemptive Happy New Year's to everybody tuning in. Unless you're in Europe, in which case, belated Happy New Year's. Hey, Slifers. I regret nothing. Well, thanks to based Pacific time zone, Villagin can still has several hours to spare after this is over. Nice fast escape there. I don't really need to be hesitating when I'm coming out of these fights, but I'm just doing that for safety, because if I like make a wrong move, that'll screw up the step counter, which is not something I want to do in a marathon run of this game, especially this category where the step counter is so important for the crater escape. Like in a no slots run, I'd be able to just keep going even if I messed up the step counter without too much of a risk of death, especially if I had an exit materia. Oh nice, Joe boy. Is it, so it's the, oh yeah, the boy, okay. Took me a second because I haven't played Evermore for a while. So I'm gonna do this again tomorrow, and if I, depending on how much time I end up having to stream, I might do FF6 too. I've been itching to do a glitchless any percent run with some new strats I worked on over the holiday. I'm guessing that was the LCCs or something. I mean, the only FF6 run I have that I'd consider a legitimate record is Japanese any percent. Hey, Petulant. Good evening, sir. I've been lightly working on DKC too. Actually, hold on a second. I just haven't streamed it for a while. I hadn't really been working on it a whole lot until like a few days ago too. When I started working on the Fifth World. It definitely helps that I've finally found a working setup to do console save states for it. Because before that, I was having to practice on emulator, which is not fun. For I should say for a non-RPG at least. But I found that even though my actual DKC2 cart doesn't work with my game saver, my flash cart with the same ROM running does, which makes even less sense than the real cart not working. But okay. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but on PC I pretty much always get that switch first try. I guess we'll see when I go back to PlayStation if I start struggling with it again. But yeah, World 3 of DKC2 is where the run actually starts. Alright, so Tifa's already got a decent amount of limit, so I'm not going to bother having her attack first. If this run had been, or if this game had been approved for RPG Limit Break, I would have tried to delegate this battle to one of Essentia's kids. Because at least with the strat I just used, you literally just have to hold the circle button, and then you win. Modeza, yeah, this is a New Game Plus type run, so I'm going to be doing some memory corruption to skip most of the game. Game Saver is basically just a kind of an apparatus that you plug into the cartridge slot of your Super Nintendo, and then the actual cart you want to play goes into it. And then assuming you're playing a game that's compatible with it, if you press select and R, it will save the state, and then select and L will load it. So it's a way to do console save states, basically. Oh, thank you, Celian, you too. I mean, not all games work with it. Like, Final Fantasy VI doesn't work with it. The game will randomly reboot itself after battles with the game saver setup. Illusion of Gaia works with it pretty well. The last time I actually tried to try to PB at IOG, I did a bunch of game saver practice before doing attempts. I know it works with FF4. It works with DKC2 with the aforementioned goofy flashcard setup. It worked with my DKC1 cart without the flashcard setup. It's actually, well, I think it's been around since the Super Nintendo was relatively new. Well, maybe not quite that long, but several years minimum. Yeah, if you haven't already, hit up that poll that my bot just linked. After I get back from AGDQ, I'm gonna start a new casual play, and it's gonna be a game that I've gotten a lot of requests for, but you, the viewers, get to decide which one. Yeah, well, it's my SD2 SNES flash card that can play any Super Nintendo or Super Famicom game that doesn't use Super FX, at least. If I plug that into the game saver, then I can do console save states for DKC2. I think the last time I checked, Breath of Fire 3 had a fairly healthy lead over Mother 3 and then Dragon Quest 3, but wasn't a blowout by any means. Thank you, Void64. I guess that's another perk of the SD2 SNES model flash card over the Super EverDrive, is being able to work with Game Saver. Well, my New Year's Eve celebration this year has so far consisted of eating pizza and then playing FF7. We shall see what the rest of the night holds, though. I know it's BOF 3 is a lot of people's favorite BOF game. It's the only one that I haven't played yet. Of the ones that I have played, BOF 4 is currently my favorite. Oh, nice values. Yep. I'm gonna just stream again tomorrow. I'm definitely gonna do another FF7 run and possibly FF6 glitchless any percent before that, but that'll depend on when exactly I get started. Yeah, we should definitely get that figured out, although it's not gonna be anywhere near as complex as FF6 100%. Because of how much shorter this run is. Thank you, Akirock. So I had Aerith attack the thief, not to try to kill it, but to delay its turn until after I'd already run away. Because I don't want to get items stolen. Yeah, with 14 nameable characters and the Demon Chocobo and all kinds of other stuff. The names that are going to be up for donations in AGDQ are Cloud, Barret, Tifa, Aerith, and Red 13. Unfortunately, the Wrong Warps route only allows renaming the characters that you recruit in Midgar. The other incentives we have lined up are acting out the squats minigame, which will hopefully include Mr. Caleb Hart, showing us how it's done. Using Aerith to fight Sephiroth and get revenge after 17 years, and finishing off Sephiroth with Omni Slash, which is a hype way to end the run, but not something you normally do because it wastes time. Yeah, my only regret about that FF6 100% run was just that it was Graveyard. I mean, It's probably my favorite run at a marathon that I've been a part of so far, just because of how great the commentary and energy was, and how well executed the run was for the most part too. The only thing I remember really going wrong that wasn't just bad RNG was Doomgaze running away. I pretty much just chalked that up to Ascension, I only having time to practice the whole run once before actually doing it. I mean, we practiced parts of it, like we did another full run through the World of Balance, and then we did Kefka's Tower a couple of times. But the part that includes Doomgaze, we only practiced once. Oh yeah, and the opera. Well, you're just in luck, Donzerlock. The next Super Nintendo Final Fantasy Relay is going to be on March 7th of next year. Fortunately, encounters are turned off on this screen during this cutscene, so that misstep I made just now doesn't actually hurt me. Future visits to this screen, though, do have encounters. Okay, so there's a fight that I sometimes get right before leaving that wrecked highway screen. If I wasted a step or two somewhere, but since I haven't gotten it yet, that means I'm on a pretty good clip at this point, and I'm gonna get that fight after falling into the sewers. Oh, thank you, Captain Adder. Happy New Year's to you too. Yeah, Big Fwong Balls is gonna be doing FF6 commentary, I believe, for the relay. Hey, Happy Squid. Belated Happy New Year's to you, good sir. T-Flower, that was at ESA, when XeroKynos did this run. He had Fighting the Weapons as an incentive. I wanted to do it for AGDQ too, but because I wasn't able to get approval for it, just because it extends the run too long. Hey, 700 hours. I think in hindsight, I probably should have at least learned how to do it. So, if there was a situation where people dropped out of AGDQ last minute, and there was a scramble to find new stuff, I could have offered to fill an hour with the weapons incentive. But it's too late now. I mean, I'm not going to. Do a slot to offer it and have it be sloppy. ZFG1, I believe, is running Ocarina of Time 100%. If you mean for the naming incentives, you can pick a name up to 8 characters, subject to vetoes if it has swear words in it or anything that's not appropriate. But other than that, you can name whatever you want or donate for to boost somebody else's name. I mean, for a lot of these naming wars, there usually end up being 2 or 3 kind of finalists, basically, that people rally behind one side or the other. Yeah, unfortunately, Vincent can't be renamed because I can't get him in this route. You could name Barrett or Red 13 Husbando though. Oh, this game is super generous too. It's 9 characters. I can't think of any RPG that even comes close to giving you that many letters for renaming characters. I think the next closest one I can think of is FF9, which gives you 7, I believe. Yeah, Barrett was old Bobby for when I ran this for AGDQ 2012. I'm hoping I can do a no slots run at some point, because just to show how massively more advanced it's gotten since then, but who knows. Getting multi-hour RPGs into AGDQ is not easy anymore. Yeah, originally Neohart wanted to come to AGDQ to commentate for my run, but he ended up having to drop out because of money issues. Unfortunately. Would have been very nice to have the person that discovered the glitch that makes this run possible there. But my commentary crew is going to be Brosentia, Uranium Anchor, and Abda Jr. You get cologne in exchange for the digestive, and you need the sexy cologne in order to count towards Corneo picking you. Thought something felt off. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very strong couch crew. Yeah, when I did this in 2012, it was Carcinogen and Arrow that helped act out squats, but I guess whoever's around at the time next week will be able to help, assuming the incentive gets met. And I got a very enthusiastic squats training offer from Caleb, which would be pretty fun. Hey Yagamoth, good morning, sir, and happy New Year's. Yeah, entire run might be a bit straining, both on the chat and on Caleb. Hey, OD Sigma. Yeah, there's full game step counter routing for all categories of FF7. I have not actually finished a full run without messing it up though. The furthest I've gotten is Gaia's Cliff, which is the snow area on Disc 2. Hopefully someday though. Well, I mean, unless I could use a hack to edit the file or something. I mean, I don't think there's an item that lets you rename characters in this game, like in FF6. There's the rename card. Nah, T-Flower is okay. Don't worry about it. Well, doing step manipulation in this game is both, I don't know, it's kind of easier and harder at the same time than in, like, FF5, because, it's harder because you're trying to do, precision movement in a 3D game, which is much harder to do, but just because doing perfectly optimized movement for hours and hours in a 3D game is just flat out impossible. The manipulation route has error steps built into it, so it's in that way it's more forgiving than like the FF5 or 6 manipulation routes. There's also really nothing outside your control, too, that affects it, because I know, like, in FF6, if you're trying to manipulate the RNG, one of the issues there is that, like, how much time you spend in screens that have randomly moving NPCs can affect it, whereas in this game, the only thing that affects the step counter is you moving, so if you're not moving, it's not changing, so... I guess another way to put it is that there's no timing elements to the manipulation in this game. No, there's still step counting being done after the warp. It's very important in this category, just because I'm gonna warp to the final dungeon after the Calm flashback, and I'm only gonna be level 11. Manipulating good encounters is really, really, really important. Yeah, Lufia 2 manipulation looks really, really evil. Isn't there a route for that all the way up through the wedding now? Well, I'm still gonna be level 11 when I beat the game, but I do have to go through the final dungeon at level 11. If you haven't seen this run before, you'll see in about, about like an hour and a half. It is possible to manipulate preemptive on apps, but I don't go for it in my route. I mean, it doesn't really save that much time. Because I think all it really does is make getting the quick kill easier, which is where you can kill him before he does the third sewer tsunami. Manipulating the preemptive on Genova Birth is much more productive, though, just because then you can hit her in the back with a limit break and do double damage. Yeah, like aren't there some cutscenes in the Lufia 2 manipulation route that can throw it off if you make mistakes with the speed that you clear the text boxes? Oh, I guess if you can buffer skipping the text by holding the button as it's drawing, that definitely helps. Nice. Got out of there without the fight. The second fight. So, what I'm doing here is I'm actually accepting getting a second fight on the pillar climb that's coming up in return for having more buffer steps for mistakes in the Shinra building. Because if I basically did some walking in the upper part of the train graveyard, I could dodge the first battle that I'm going to be getting on the pillar climb at the expense of having much less margin for error in the rest of Midgar. No, there's a game list for Limit Break, but not a schedule yet. I haven't started working on that. I'm going to start working on that after I get back from AGDQ, and ideally have something ready for public release, maybe sometime in February. Yeah, I'm so hyped for Limit Break. And I don't even have any runs to schedule at this point. Yeah, this game likes stairs, and likes mini-games too, although most of the mini-games are skipped in the Warps route. I mean, I'm back up for FF6 if the LCC isn't able to make it, but yeah, other than that, I'll just be doing commentary. Really good ATB on Reno. I wonder how much of this time I'm picking up too is because of not renaming characters, and like, cause these PB splits are from a run where I renamed the characters after Disney characters, and I lost. I mean, I probably lost a good like minute or so just from renaming the characters in the first place, and lose little bits of time from text boxes too. Yeah. I had to assemble the marathon from what, a blade, a sphere, and a rod, I think. Speaking of BOF3, if you'd like to see me play that next year, or if you'd like to see me play Mother 3 or Dragon Quest 3, there's the voting button. Dragon Quest 3. I've played the NES version, but never the 16-bit version. Hey, Vidger. Yeah, I saw Dragon Dark do a playthrough of Breath of Fire 2 with the retranslation patch recently, and it's just amazing how much better the game is when the translation isn't just garbage. 'Cause, like, a lot of the like side quests and character backstory cutscenes and stuff just felt like wastes of time in the original game, but seeing them with a proper translation made it a pretty different experience. Yeah, well, that's actually George Friedrich Handel's The Creation. That's that President Shinra is listening to there, and the reason I know that is because it's in the credits for the game. Well, Persona 4 Golden is the only like Vita exclusive RPG I can even think of. Yeah, it's kind of funny that the Hallelujah chorus has become associated with Christmas, because in the actual music it's about Easter. I guess that's just the way tradition goes. Yeah, oh yeah, I guess there's FF10 and 10 too, although I don't think that's really any different than the PS3 versions. Like, you certainly can't skip cutscenes in Vita. Yeah, if it were possible to skip cutscenes in FF10 HD, I'm sure that would probably be like probably be under 6 hours for the speedrun, if not less, even less than that. Although I guess that depends on what exactly you consider a cutscene. Like, I think probably the best implemented cutscene skip in RPGs is like Kingdom Hearts 2 and Final Fantasy 13. Or I mean, it's both like voice-acted scenes and then also just text cutscenes can all be skipped. I think 13's requires less button inputs to do though, because in Kingdom Hearts games that have cutscene skip, you have to press start down and X kind of in one motion in order to do it. Whereas I want to say, like in Final Fantasy games that have it, it's just start and then another button, like either select or square or circle or something. Star Ocean 3 is kind of an interesting cutscene skip method, because it's you have to enable cutscene skip in the menu, and then whenever you get to a cutscene, the game asks you if you want to watch it or not. And I think that no is the default option. Happy New Year's to you too, Isto. Step into the shadows of the Hell House. I'll do this now before I forget. Yep. Derped and forgot that you have to actually kind of dodge that guy when you're coming through here. Yeah, I'm sure pretty much everybody that's ever played this game had a lot of encounters with that house just because of getting stuck on that highway screen, because it's not obvious at all where exactly you're supposed to go, just because of the map being drawn kind of goofily. Alright, Happy New Year, Bick. Celebrate well. Being able to skip all the cutscenes, I think, is a big part of why FF13 actually makes for a pretty good speedrun. Just 'cause it's all action. I mean, the fact that the biggest complaint people have about the game casually is the linearity, but that's not really an issue with the speedrun, just because even though you're kind of running through the trademark hallways, you're constantly having to dodge enemies, and there's a lot of really technical stuff involving like manipulating the camera controls and stuff to do it. Yeah, I enjoyed 13. I mean, I liked 13-2 more, but I enjoyed my time with 13. Yeah, that one used to trip me up a lot, just because the difference in input lag makes it so I have to hesitate a little bit more than I would on PlayStation to make the jump. Alright, when I get to the Stairmaster 7000 minigame, I'm gonna run a commercial. Yeah, my opinion is that 13.2 basically kept everything about 13 that was fun and then ditched what wasn't. Like, there's a lot less linearity. A couple annoying things about the battle system are fixed. It's a lot easier to avoid fights if you want to. I mean, the story isn't quite as good. I mean, that's just kind of a thing with sequels, but as far as the gameplay, I think it's much better. All right, I'll be back in 2 minutes. Hey, Duckfist, by the way. And we're back. 13 doesn't have a traditional world map, and even kind of in the like the pseudo world map that FF10 did with the airship. The way I kind of explain it is that about the first 2/3 of the game is very linear, which is most people's reason for complaining about it. And then then you get into a really wide open world after that, which is where most of the side quests happen. But just the pacing is a little weird. It didn't really bother me, but it's the main complaint a lot of people seem to have with the game. 13.2 it's more like Final Fantasy X in the sense that you basically have there's different areas that you visit, and you can revisit previous areas at pretty much at any point, basically from a world map style menu. Ni no Kuni is good. I played that last year. Yeah, that definitely has a more traditional JRPG world map with epic music and random encounters and what have you. Oh, and someone was asking about the elemental attack materia. No, that is not useful in this category. It is useful in no slots, though. Both offensively and defensively. I mean, the way I look at it is that, I mean, the JRPG genre is linear. I mean, there's a story that you're not really allowed to deviate from much. I mean, it's just that older ones have the kind of the illusion of freedom by giving you a world map and more methods of transportation and stuff. No, I'm not using any mods. I mean, this is the PC version looks different from the PlayStation version because the polygons are higher resolution. It's very important not to get an encounter on that last screen, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, because there's a glitch after that battle with the 3 mighty grunts where if you get into another fight before you leave the screen, you can't run away because the game is glitched and still thinks that you're in a boss fight. Time for Metal Gear Cloud. If you mean what game am I running, I'm running this. I'm also going to be helping out with the tech station more than I have the past couple marathons. And I'll be commentating for a couple runs too, like one I'm the most hyped for is the Castlevania 4 race. I'm also commentating for Castlevania 3, Rockman X, our good buddy Yagamoth here, and Totally Red. So the password here is random, but the 3rd and 6th passwords are always wrong. So because I don't actually need any of the rewards in this category, I just guess the password instead of checking the bookshelf that tells you what it is. Yeah. Well. You'll be making up for lost time with plenty of trolling of some yet to be determined nature, I'm sure. I like Totally Rad as a game. I mean, I think it's a pretty solid platformer. The cutscenes are pretty special though, which is why I think it's in the awful games block, just because the cutscenes are about as 90s America as you can get. If you get the password first try, you get an elemental materia. which is kind of rare because I think you can buy them at some point, but it's like kind of late in the game. It's very useful in the no slot speedrun route in a couple places, both to be able to exploit bosses' elemental weaknesses, and then also for defense too, because you can take half damage from elements depending on how you set it up. I mean, I think as a kid I would, I don't know, I know I just reset until I got the password at least once, and which involved having to climb or go up the elevator or climb the stairs each time, because there isn't really a way to save after entering the Shinra building, but until you get past where the domino password is, but there's a trick you can do where one of the bookshelves in the library is unique for each possible password. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, in a casual playthrough, I wouldn't think elemental is really that useful. I mean, this is not a hard game casually at all. If you know what you're doing. I mean, well, if you've just kind of been coasting all the way through the game using just basic attack materia and stuff, you're probably gonna have trouble beating, say, for Sephiroth. Because if you don't know, like how to protect against status conditions and dispel walls and stuff like that, then you're gonna have a lot of trouble surviving Supernova, or well, either killing Sephiroth before he does Supernova or not dying from getting confused by it. But yeah, if you level up Elemental, it gets stronger too. I mean, level 1, well, actually only with defensively though. Like level 1 you take half damage from the linked element, level 2 you take 0 damage, and level 3 you absorb. If you're using it offensively in a weapon, it's the same. It just makes your attacks have that element. Like in the no-slot speedrun, you use that for Diamond Weapon, because Diamond Weapon is weak to lightning. I mean, that's one thing. Yeah, that's one thing I really like about RPG speedruns, personally, is just that most RPGs that are speedrun friendly are very, very easy casually, and doing a speedrun forces you to introduce a really heavy strategy and planning element into how you fight battles. Yeah, I wasn't able to beat FF5 the first time I played it, which was after the translation patch first came out in the early 2000s. I was able to kind of coast my way to the final boss with just spamming Guild Toss, but that wasn't able to save me from Almagust. I mean, I couldn't beat Neo X Death without cheating. The first time I did so was my first speedrun, actually, of FF5. Hey, Gundam. Because I hadn't done the 4-job Fiesta yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm probably not personally going to speedrun PS4 FF7, but what I'm looking forward to about it is there being a way to speedrun the game with warps at a consistent frame rate, because the main problem with Steam FF7 for speedrunning is that the game runs at different frame rates on different computers, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it outside of modding the game. Like, I never actually learned a single blue magic spell my first casual playthrough of FF5. Although, since it was right after the translation patch came out, I mean, there was basically nothing on the internet as far as, like, guides or FAQs about it. I definitely like the game a lot more now that I know just how overpowered pretty much every job is if you know what you're doing, which is what makes the 4-job fiesta so much fun. That's another nice thing about RPGs. I can read Twitter and SDA forum and stuff during cutscenes. So I didn't really explain it very well on the Mighty Grunts, but both there and here I'm using a trick called the ATB wait trick, which is where I'm basically I set the battle mode to wait, and then I linger in sub-menus in order to basically get more turns than the enemy does. So here I'm using it mostly in order to reduce the amount of poison damage that I take. Hey, Kitretta, Happy New Year's. Yeah, the original version of FF2 is ridiculous. I mean, at least until you find out that that Minnie and Frog can kill bosses, and then it becomes kind of silly. Or that the Blood Sword can just wreck the final boss. I don't remember 13.1 at least being terribly difficult, although it rewards because I mean, I don't know if you know anything at all about the game yet, but it uses kind of a pseudo job system where there's 6 different kind of what are called paradigms that your characters can switch between, which control what types of attacks you can use. And it's kind of like 10-2 in that you can switch between them in the middle of a battle. So a lot of the strategy in both 13 and 13.2 is setting up your paradigms, so that and then kind of shifting between them depending on what you want to do in the fight. I think it's kind of one of those things where you don't really have to work on it, kind of put that much thought into it in order to actually beat the game, but you're going to probably have trouble in the end game if you're still just kind of using the base ones. Yeah, the behemoth in Mystic Quest is quite strong. Also, I just lost some time here now because I mashed too fast and watched this cutscene, which I don't need to. I don't think it's that long, though. Yeah, debuffs are actually really useful in 13. Because, like, there's a debuff that makes enemies weak to all elements. And like, yeah, deprotect and deshell are really useful too. I think even poison is actually useful in 13. Yeah, this is a mistake I haven't made for quite a while actually, as far as watching the Barrett cutscene in the jail. Yeah, FFA is just kind of goofy in terms of the fact that you can get endgame spells for junctioning really early if you use card mod. I mean, that's what the speedrun is all based around. Yeah, the latest in Shinra and Vizorope technology. Yeah, yeah, and that's the other thing too. If you get to level 100 in FF8, that actually makes the game much harder because the game scales enemies up to you. So that's, I mean, yeah, that's the other thing other than spamming limits with triple junction that the speedrun route does is it keeps your level as low as your average party level as low as possible. To make the bosses weak. Bum 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 bum. I love that tambourine roll they do after the timpanis. I really wish they'd re-release FF9 on the PC, just because the main complaint about the game, both casually and speedrunning wise, is loading times, which if they ported it to PC would largely take care of. Yeah, I mean, you can either just abuse GFs and then hate the game because you get bored of watching the summon animations, or you can get caught into draw grinding and hate the game because you think you need to get 99 of every spell, or you just ignore the tutorials and then just kind of go with like maxing out your strength and have a pretty easy time. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if like a PC version of FF9 was like an hour and a half to 2 hours faster than the PlayStation version, just because of loading time differences. Like FF7 and 8 are both about 1 hour faster because of load times. As in terms of a run with of the same category. Steiner is kind of unique among Final Fantasy characters, and that Steiner is his last name. So if you rename him, he's to like Rusty, then his name is going to be Adalbert Rusty. Alright, Probably gonna lose a good like 25-30 seconds or so here just because of watching that Barrett cutscene in the jail. Hey, Wixie Ben. Yeah. We're renaming Dagger. The German version of the game definitely got it right because they renamed her default name is Lily after Lily Dagger, which is a kind of like dagger. Just Dagger is a really, really weird name for a white mage / summoner, if you ask me. Let's see if I get put to sleep. It's the main way I can lose time on this fight. Yep, there we go. Yep, probably about 20-25 seconds of that was from the extra cutscene, and then the rest was just from bad RNG in the fight. I was getting put to sleep. I wasn't paying enough attention, and I picked the first option instead of the third option in jail, so I watched an extra cutscene with Barrett in red. And wasted some time. If I have to use Braver on Rufus instead of Dark Nation just because of not having the full limit bar on Cloud, there's a slight chance that I need to hit him again because if I get really low damage rolls. I remember the Speed Gamers did a Final Fantasy marathon many years ago where somebody donated to name all of the characters Sephiroth, and they did it. Alright, let's see if I can recoup some of that time just from faster text mashing on the keyboard. You mean the GFs? Because the only characters you can rename in FF8 are Squall and Renoa. I don't know why they did that, if it's just because they gave them last names in the script or what, but it's kind of silly that they did it like that without there being voice acting. I never had trouble with Demon's Gate back in the day, mostly just because I always got Great Gospel, which completely trivializes anything and everything. So I'm loading up Cloud with magic materia there for the boss. His equipping materia affects your stats. Hey, Vanity Smoke. Yeah, if anyone doesn't know what Great Gospel is, it's Aerith's level 4 limit. And if you use it, it acts like a Mega Elixir on your party, and then also makes you invincible for several turns. So if you have that, along with like Bahamut and Odin, then Demon's Gate is no problem. Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen this before, I'm exploiting the AI of these with the red bikes, and that they have the most passive AI of all of the kinds of bikes, and if I just swing my sword in the center of the highway, they leave me alone. All of this actually affects is how much HP you have for the motor ball battle coming up. Well, I'm okay with that because it's just it's just so ridiculously overpowered that I mean, it would if it were possible to use Great Gospel for the whole rest of the game after well, I guess after you get the tiny Bronco, then there'd be zero challenge. I mean, it's not like FF7 is that hard of a game anyway. Maybe the red biker guys are just completely enraptured at seeing a guy swinging the Buster Sword, which is like makes no sense from a physics perspective, over and over again. Well, at least in the Steam version, you get a trophy if you use Great Gospel, or an achievement, I mean. Underwater weapon is Emerald weapon. That's pretty much the hardest boss in the game. I thought it was, at least. The laws of physics are broken. Hardest boss in all of the FF games. Cloud of Darkness I thought was pretty hard in the DS version of FF3 at least. At least as far as like storyline bosses, not including super bosses. Yeah, Emerald Weapon has a pretty big gotcha in that its Airtam Storm attack does damage based on how many materia you have equipped. So if you have like if you have endgame equipment all loaded out with materia, then it'll one-shot you. Super boss of FF9 is Ozma. Ozma is a pretty well-designed super boss too, because it doesn't have like 1,000,000 HP or anything that just artificially makes it a really long and tedious fight. Hey Lauren, good evening sir. Happy New Year's. Alright, got the skip first try this time. That was a glitch there where I talked to Barrett at on the same step that I bumped into the event barrier around the exit to Midgar, so I was able to skip about a 40-second cutscene picking your party. Drawback to that is that you don't get healed, though, so if you got beat up really badly in the motorcycle game, then there's and you get, like, pincer attacked or something on the overworld, there's a chance you could die. Alright, save some frames with keyboard text mashing during the calm flashback. Anyone just tuning in, it's something I'm starting to do now for longer cutscenes, just because there's less input lag on the keyboard for PC FF7 than with my USB controller, so I can save time on cutscenes if I use a keyboard. I mean, if I wanted to seriously compete for the record at this category, I'd have to do the whole run on keyboard to save frames on like battle inputs and menus and stuff too. Well, it'll be 2015 for the U.S. Eastern time zone in about 7 minutes, and then for me about an hour after that. All right, good. You can lose time just because of luck on this fight if the dragon kills Cloud and then Sephiroth revives him. Yeah, original FF is pretty, it's definitely pretty rough if you don't grind a lot, at least. Yeah, I'm not a fan of playing, console games with keyboards, but PC games, I mean, whatever. PC doesn't have standard hardware, so you should just do whatever works best. Yeah, the remakes of FF1 are much, much easier. I mean, a big part of why one of the things that kind of artificially made original FF1 hard was bugs that make like your characters less powerful for various reasons. Someone like Jair or Fiesel could definitely give a pretty thorough explanation of how unfair or how much the odds are stacked against you in NES FF1. Oh my goodness. What is this heresy of buying new consoles in stores? I actually tweeted about my 2015 speedrunning plans earlier today. Last year I set some more grandiose ambitions of like getting a sub 8 at no FF7 no slots, and oh, I think I'm gonna run away. Nice. And like PBing at Illusion of Gaia 100%, but that didn't really amount to anything as far as even attempting those. So this year I decided to just keep it simple and have my speedrun resolutions be to make RPG Limit Break a success to the best of my abilities, to meet Essentia's challenge in Donkey Kong Country 2, and to get a decent time at least one new game. As of now, the top contenders for that are Final Fantasy IV, Chrono Trigger, and Soul Blazer. I might do some dabbling with Ninja Gaiden 2 and see if I actually like it or not. Cause I very much like that game casually, but we'll see if I actually like trying to speedrun it. 100% is the category for Chrono Trigger that interests me the most, just because I don't like the elixir glitch, which I mean it is doable in 100% too, but you don't have to do it. And I also don't want to have to skip the Ocean Palace too, which is and the Black Omen, which are very hype parts of the game. I also want to do a route for glitchless Chrono Trigger at some point, which would be 100%, because glitchless any percent Chrono Trigger would require like half an hour more worth of grinding in order to actually be able to beat Lavos, which is not cool. I mean, for routing glitchless Chrono Trigger, I would use Essentia's 100% PB as a starting point, because that predates most of the current glitches that are part of the run. Let's see if I can find some improvements from there. Yeah. NES and SNES games are getting kind of stupidly expensive for no real reason. I think it's just mostly a supply and demand type thing. Oh, I think good condition Chrono Trigger cards these days are like $80+. Yeah, the 3-minute task does memory corruption to trigger the ending. Yeah, I mean, Earthbound is not actually a rare game, but it's expensive because of supply and demand. I want to say it's come down a little bit because of Earthbound being released on Wii Virtual Console too. Yeah, oh yeah, there's definitely much more expensive games than Earthbound. Like Hagane, I think, is pretty darn high. And yeah, Ninja Gaiden Trilogy. Lots of stuff that OmniGamer owns and speedruns. Yes, Happy New Year to anyone and everyone on the US and Canada East Coast. Yeah, I mean, given that Ninja Gaiden Trilogy is bad ports of the Ninja Gaiden games, but I guess not everybody knows that. Yeah. It's 58 minutes until New Year's for me. I've never played Hagane, but I want to now after seeing Epically Epic and OmniGamer do speedruns of it. Looks like a pretty cool platformer. Yeah, when I was at OmniGamer's house earlier this year, he was having me sample a lot of his rare SNES games, which included Ninja Gaiden Trilogy, sadly. Yes, belated Happy New Year's to any Insomniac Europeans that are watching. Hey Bob, Happy New Year, sir. Yeah. Oh, you know, I remember that. I remember Dexter basically kind of getting the quote-unquote Ninja Gaiden 1 world record because of being like the only known person to actually do a speedrun of Trilogy NG1. If you mean gaming-wise, Jim Slimmy, that's in my Twitter feed. Spoilers, though, it has to do with RPG Limit Break, Donkey Kong Country 2, and learning another new game. Yeah, A lot of the graphics in this game look kind of dated now, but the FMV of Sephiroth walking into the fire is timeless, if you ask me. Yeah. He must have borrowed some of Will from Illusion of Gaia's flame retardant hair gel and smeared it all over his outfit. Ooh, oh, do you actually have a PC engine then? I've played Rondo of Blood on console, though it's on Wii. Well, the Yuffie Warping is about as ridiculous as the 3D Zelda warping. Yes, Happy New Year to everybody in the East Coast or Eastern Midwest of US and Canada. That's actually kind of a bit of a pet peeve of mine, actually, is people referring to Eastern time as East Coast time, just because there's a lot of states in the US that aren't anywhere near the Atlantic Ocean that are on Eastern time. Like Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, stuff like that. Yeah, this is the PC version. It's even glitchier than the PlayStation version, which is why I'm playing it. Yeah, the LCC is in that part of Canada that's on Atlantic time, or as I call it, Floating Continent Standard Time. Whenever he has chat on his screen with the time zone, with the timestamps for his chat messages. Oh, glitchy or glitchiest or perfectly valid words and speedrunning lingo. Yeah, let me look. I haven't looked at that poll for a few days. Well, looks like BOF3 has opened up a little bit bigger of a lead. Although I see DQ3 caught up to Mother 3. It was like about 15 or so votes behind before. Seems like I often get stuck on that guy. Should probably consider, if I have that tranquilizer as like a drop, I think I should probably consider just using it on cloud instead of selling it. Yeah, I decided to theme it on threes. No, I have not played any of the games on the poll before. I've played the NES version of Dragon Quest III, but not the 16-bit version, which is pretty different. Okay, at least it's not a pincer. Ew, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Ah, dang it. Started it too early. Well, this isn't massively time wasting. Hey, hey! Kinda surprised I still got a gold even with that back attack. And with missing the cutscene skip. Yeah. The Zalem cutscene is, yeah, that's not a big deal if you miss it. You know, that's a good question. I actually don't know. I'd assume there's some way to get Chocobo lure, like buying it maybe. Because I'd imagine the game needs to have a way, I mean, because the game intends for catching a Chocobo to be a required tutorial, basically, for getting past the Buggar Zalem. And if you sell the Chocobo lure materia, I'd assume you'd be able to buy another one. Oops. Okay, that was weird. Apparently I opened the menu when I was still in the, when I was during the loading transition or something. Hope that didn't waste too many steps. Alright, so this is where the fun starts. So the first thing we're going to be doing here is using a glitch called battle mode warping. Because this save file I just loaded here has been kind of prepared so that the game actually thinks I'm still in the calm flashback here. And my party is all dead too, which I just basically set up by changing characters in my party so that everybody's dead. Hey DK, well, Happy New Year to you too in about 3 hours. Another back attack. That's not cool. I think, yeah, I'd have to. I do need to confirm that though, because there might be a little more to it than that, than just using the PHS. But it's just based around changing your, changing who's in your party at the right point. Wait, nah, not achievements. Play. So now I'm doing it again here, because I need to game over in order to set up the wrong warps. Yeah, my achievement list is pretty weird for this, because I've never actually beaten the game normally, only with the warps, and this well, on this version of the game. I've beaten the PlayStation version normally many, many times. So I have the achievement for beating the game, but not for beating Genova Life or Hojo. Wow, I've got a lot of extra grenades. So the main glitch that makes this route possible is that once I've set it up, when I fight Yuffie on the world map, the game loads the area where I game overed previously instead of the special field where you talk to Yuffie. Notice how Kate Sith is missing too. That's because Kate Sith's in kind of a glitched out state right now where he has Young Cloud's PC data loaded, which is I think why he's invisible here. Oh yeah, I forgot to split. Do that now during the next loading, I guess. For more dangerous fights in the crater, I'm doing some pause buffering to increase my odds of running away before getting attacked more than once. The most dangerous enemies that I'll be beating are ones that have just have attacks with fast animations. Because enemies that have slower animations generally let me run away before they attack more than once, without having to pause buffer. Yeah, actually being able to hear all of the music for the end of the game and the final bosses is a nice touch. I mean, when I do no-slot speedruns, I just play the music on my computer so that there's at least something. Okay, so now that after I reach the bottom of the crater, that updates some flags in the game's memory so that it thinks I've reached the end legitimately. So now if I leave the crater, I'll have the high wind and full access to the world map. I really, really like the music for the Northern Crater too. I like kind of the offbeat percussion that it has. I think it really adds to the kind of gives it a really just foreboding feeling to it. So this is the main payoff for the step count manipulation that I've been doing all throughout the run, is that I'm manipulating getting relatively safe encounters in the crater. Because there's a couple encounters I can get that would be very high chances of a game over, basically, because if they attack me. Oops. Targeting so hard. You have Sid, and Kate Sith, I believe, but you don't get Yuffie and Vincent unless you actually recruit them. You still have Aerith too. And I'll be using her for Sephiroth. Okay, so after this it's 7 steps. Okay, then this is going to be the most dangerous fight in the whole crater. 2 parasites. Okay, Cloud dodged it at least. Cloud has pretty high evasion because of the Mythril armor. Yeah, Kate Sith gets unglitched after you reach the bottom of the crater. This is going to be a gimme. This is Gargoyles, which spend their first turn depetrifying. Next one's going to be more parasites, but it'll also be a preemptive, so that's another gimme, because preemptives are instant escapes. Next encounter should be more gargoyles, and then if I did everything right, that should be the last one. I know the fights ahead of time because I'm manipulating them. The battles you get in dungeon-type areas in Final Fantasy VII can be manipulated by your movement. Whenever you see me walking instead of running, that's to manipulate the encounters. Because doing certain walking patterns lets me avoid battles. And also control what monsters you fight. Because like there's a couple, like if I got back attacked by parasites or met an enemy called an armored golem in the crater, those are really high chances of a game over. Just because they the parasites that have a really fast attack, and the golem could do AoE attacks. Yeah, skipping chests is something that took a lot of getting used to when I started speedrunning RPGs, that's for sure. Alright, so this next segment here went pretty much perfectly in my PB, so the odds of not losing time here aren't too good, but we'll do the best we can. There's a lot of luck in this part too. Yeah, pretty much, Duckfist. That may have been in the offing. Alright, so Ultima Weapon is in a pretty glitched out state right now because Ultima Weapon normally has an HP value that's stored in your save file. It's like Doomgaze in FF6 where you're meant to fight him multiple times on the map. But because I skipped the part of the game where you fight him as part of the story in Medial, his HP value is glitched out, and using a potion on him will give him exactly 100 hit points. Oops. He's got a fairly substantial chance of wiping me if he does Ultima Beam, though, which is why I need to save before trying to fight him. Oh, you mean like Lufia 2 Ancient Cave? Alright, so I didn't get killed by Ultima Weapon in this run. So this is basically, the main reason I'm doing this is just to level up really quickly, because I gain a lot of experience and AP from fighting Ultima Weapon along with Cloud's strongest sword. That's out of the way. Next stop is Bone Village. You got the mop. The mop is but a mere stepping stone towards far greater things, though. Mop is a joke weapon for Sid. The W item materia, which I'm sure most people that have played this game remember. It's a materia that lets you use 2 items at once, but it has some very fun glitches associated with it too. Let's see, so okay, then this reset I'm doing here isn't for warping, it's to manipulate encounters. Because if you do a hard reset of the game, which on PC just means closing and restarting it, then you'll restart your encounter string from the beginning. Much sadness. Yeah, sadness is a status that reduces the amount of damage you take. It's actually really useful for speedrunning. Oh. I felt like I was missing something with Cloud. I can't do the duplication if one of the thieves runs away, though. So I'm losing time on my PB now because of having to reset here. In my PB, I got all 3 duplications without any resets. I still have about 2 minutes that I can gain on Bizarro Sephiroth, though. If I have a good final battle. But if I have to reset like 1 or 2 more times, I'm almost certainly going to be in the red after this is over. Okay, so the reason why I used the Phoenix down on that thief was because because one of them needs to still be alive when I kill the other one and get my stolen source back in order for me to do the duplication. So if one of them steals something that's not a source, then I kill and then resurrect them so that I can get another chance. Yeah, I mean that looks pretty straightforward, but I'm actually having to kind of focus really hard to make sure I don't double tap any of my inputs, because that'll screw up the glitch. So I need to do that a total of 3 times. Get 2 stacks of power, or 2 stacks of speed sources and 1 of power sources. And in between each battle, I reset in order to manipulate the next encounter to be more thieves. Yeah, yeah. There's the you need to mash in order to consume 98 or 99 sources as optimally as possible. If you've ever seen a Wild Arms speedrun, it's pretty similar, only I don't think the sound effect of using a source is quite as good as the sound effect for eating an apple in Wild Arms. Okay, so we'll go to that. Yeah, there's a lot of people I'm definitely looking forward to meeting for the first time next week. Along with old friends to see in person again. And then I also need to steal speed drinks in order to set up duplicating again, just because I need to have a consumable item in my top slot. mash any more optimally on the keyboard. Yeah, I know, like Abda, I know always has fun doing the soup drinking mini game in Chrono Trigger because he gets to strut his stuff from being a Mega Man speedrunner too with the mashing. Come on. Thieves can randomly do nothing for their turn. Yeah. So that right thief did nothing for like 3 or 4 turns in a row. And then because the left one ran away, now I have to reset because even if he stole the right item when I killed him to get it back, then I'd win the fight, and I wouldn't be able to dupe the source. So yeah, I'll probably lose probably a good 2 minutes or so in this split, assuming I get it next time. If I get it this time, PB is still possible. Well, there's actually a route that's about half an hour faster, but I'm not using it because it's basically a credits warp run that has no real challenge to it. Because everything I've been doing as far as like showing off glitches and that kind of intense escape from the craters and in the credits warp run. Alright, so this is something new I'm trying out here as far as getting this Mega Elixir here. The reason I didn't do this before when it was a little more convenient to come here was because for the source duplications I need to minimize the number of stealable items that I have on me in order to maximize my odds of the thieves stealing the sources. couple mega elixirs during this fight. Alright, so at this point I could just fly back to the crater and descend back down, but I'm going to use Yuffie Warping again to get back there, just because it's both faster and safer. And lets me show off another glitch. Called the Vincent Mug glitch. This is a glitch where Vincent uses the mug command with certain weapons equipped. The next battle animation that would otherwise happen will be skipped. Yeah, what I'm trying out this time is instead of going back to Bone Village and buying some extra high potions and tranquilizers, I'm just getting some mega elixirs instead. Okay, we don't get to see the glitch that fight because he didn't actually use Mug. So in this file, Vincent has a bunch of sneak attack materia equipped, which is it makes you randomly use the linked materia at the start of the fight. So in that fight right there, you saw that Vincent cast Exit in order to leave to run away from the battle instantly. For that Iron Giant there, he did the same thing, but because of the Mug glitch, the animation for Exit is skipped. So it just quietly fades away. Okay, but I don't actually want to reach the bottom like this, because if I actually get to Genova, then that'll actually have some pretty negative side effects. So in the next fight I actually want Vincent to die, just because I need to game over in order to set up the warp glitch. So in this case, I'm going to be bug glitching the giant killing Vincent, which is fun. Alright, so now we're at the bottom of the crater. And then, because this is a speed run, I'm turning the battle speed down to slow. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Actually, what's happening is that the game is loading the wrong FMVs for the background as a side effect of the warp glitch. these final battles I'm gonna watch on my laptop instead of the XSplit window, just there's less input lag. I believe if I hit the 0.5% chance of not finding Yuffie there, I would just need to force another battle. I don't think it messes up the glitch to get a. I'm pretty sure it does mess up the glitch if you enter a town or dungeon or something after you've set up the glitch. But if you get other fights on the world map, I don't think it messes it up. I save a little bit of menuing time here because of having mega elixirs instead of high potions. Alright, so I just picked up about 2 minutes or so there from killing Bizarro Seph before he gets a second turn. Sid's name is in full because I skipped the part of the game where you recruit him, so the game just has his default name. Alright, so I might be able to squeak out a PB if I have a good safer Seph fight. Here we go, enjoy the music. Yeah, it's the Misteel that makes Deathblow always hit. Okay, don't hit Cloud, please. His next attack will always hit Cloud because it's based on who has the most HP. There we go, alright. Other than hesitating a little bit on the menu, that was a pretty solid fight. The fact that I had a Mega Elixir, I think, let me shave one hit off, too. Because the Ultima weapon gets a pretty significant attack bonus based on how much HP Cloud has. So I think, yeah, getting the long range plus the Mega Elixir makes pretty much, yeah, if I don't screw up, should make it impossible for me to lose, even if Seph kills Cloud. Because the reason I lost last time was because he killed Cloud, and then I lost too many turns recovering his HP with high potions, but in order to be able to kill Sephiroth before he, before it was too late. I don't know if this is going to be a PB, though. We'll see. I kind of, it's one of those annoying situations where you have a PB that has some really ugly mistakes, but luck that makes up for them in spades. I'm flying out Saturday morning. If this is a PB, it'll just be by a couple seconds. Oh, and then I also saved some time there because the game loaded the Airbuster explosion cutscene instead of the correct one there. Alright, come on, Cloud, you can do it. Okay, I think this will be a PB by under 10 seconds, probably. Yes! 6 seconds! Woo! Okay, at least I have a PB now that has both well-executed step count manipulation and good fights. I mean, I lost about 3 minutes or so just because of luck on the source duping, but yeah. So yeah, even though it's only 6 seconds, I like this. Oh, and I also gained about a minute because of not renaming characters, too. That's where most of my time savings in Midgar came from. Yeah, the biggest mistake I made in this run was losing about 20 seconds to watching an extra cutscene in Shinra HQ. My previous PB was the one where I had Disney character names. Yeah, and I got back attacked twice in the world map, which is something that you can't realistically manipulate, because the world map uses a different encounter system that's based on the in-game timer. Yeah, it would have been a A245 if I'd have had one less reset on the source duping segment for sure. I don't know about sub 245, but I'm gonna try again tomorrow though, and I might do an FF6 glitchless any % run before that too. Oh, thank you everybody. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be relying on my commentators to help explain what exactly is going on. I mean, the part of this run that I think is probably the hardest to explain is the battle mode warp glitch, which is how you warp from outside the Mythril Mines to Yuffie's Forest past Mount Nibble, just because it's a pretty complicated glitch, both as far as how it works and how you set it up. The Yuffie Warping is easier to explain, at least. My estimate is 3 hours. The last run I did where I died to Safer Sephiroth because he basically tasked me as far as doing literally every possible move that could set up me losing was, it was like 3 hours and 50 seconds or something like that. So yeah, every practice run I've done for the past like month or so has been under 3 hours. So I'm feeling pretty good for my GDQ, and I've been able to do the last couple runs without notes for menuing too. I mean, I've been using notes for the encounter manipulation, but I mean, I'll bring a backup copy of it. Yeah, the commentary is Abda Jr., Brosentia, and Uranium Anchor. And then Vulagin will be on the host mic. Yeah, Neohart who's the guy that originally discovered the Yuffie Warp glitch. Originally wanted to come and commentate for the run, but had to withdraw because of financial issues, unfortunately. Yeah, and this is going to be my first GDQ run in 2 years that's not Graveyard too, which will be a treat. My FF6 run with Essentia at SGDQ started at midnight, and my FF5 run the year before that also started at midnight. The incentives are naming the 5 characters that are possible to name in this route, which are Cloud, Tifa, Barret, Aerith, and Red 13. Acting out the squats minigame in Wall Market, hopefully including Caleb Hart. And let's see, using Aerith for the final battle, which is actually part of the optimal route, which I did there, just basically because there's 2 reasons for that. One is because you need. I use characters that I didn't use on Ultima Weapon for the rest of the run, basically because characters that aren't in your active party get half of the experience from a fight, but characters that are dead get none. So yeah. Anybody that's around during that part is very much welcome to help participate in the squatting. We'll have to have Cool Maddie get a squats room cam set up or something during the Wall Market side quest. But so yeah, because you can't put Aerith in your party in the Northern Crater, but she'll by default be in your reserve when you fight Ultima Weapon, so she'll be able to get half the experience without you having to do an extra party swap. And yeah, and also you save a bit of time in the cutscene before Sephiroth too, because Aerith doesn't have any dialogue. The characters you pick for your battle party to fight Sephiroth all talk to him, and Aerith doesn't have any lines. And also the last the last incentive will be using Omni Slash in the final story battle with Sephiroth. As you saw me do, if you do nothing during that battle, you'll automatically counter and kill him because Sephiroth only has 1 hit point. But if you use Omni Slash, then you lose a bunch of time basically because of the animation, but it gives you a more swag finish. And that's kind of become a traditional donation incentive for FF7. Yep. 6-second PB because of having better execution and worse luck. I'm just glad I beat my Disney percent PB though, just because having a PB that was only a PB because of getting perfect source duping luck is sad. When I lost 3 minutes to Bizarro Sephiroth because of. Yes, also Happy New Year's to every one of my North American Central Time Zone brethren. Kind of fitting that it hits midnight right when Meteor is trying to destroy Midgar. Yeah, when I'm doing practice runs at the AGDQ hotel, there'll definitely be some like Dr. Seuss percent and other rename percent runs. Yeah, once again, super belated New Year's to anybody from Europe that's, I guess, getting up early now. Hmm, 3 p.m. That's what? Is that like Russia or something? Or no, that would be like Japan, I guess. Because yeah, I know the way I always figure out what time it is in Japan is to add 3 hours and then flip AM and PM. So yeah, it would be 3 p.m. in Japan right now. Yeah, I'll be streaming again tomorrow. Well, now today. I'm planning to do this again in the evening, and then I might do FF6 in the like afternoon, and then I'd probably like take a dinner break or something before starting FF7. Take one more shot at getting a sub 245. I mean, I'll have a good like 25 seconds I can pick up for free in Midgar if I don't mess up the prison cutscenes, and well, and then I can gain some time on the source duping if I have better luck. Hey, Carrie, Happy New Year to you, too. Well, I guess in 1 hour for you. I can now safely report that there are no hoverboards in the year 2015. Sad face. Oh, nice. What was he streaming? Was he doing Town with No Name again, or something more challenging? Carmageddon. Oh man. I would blame nobody for choosing to watch Carmageddon instead of FF7. Oh yes. No. Perish the thought. As a mostly native of Wisconsin, though, I do have to disapprove of running over cows being worth points. Well, doesn't stuff like that already exist for starting cars, I guess, by like fobs and push buttons? I've got an old school car that I actually need to use a key to turn on, even if I have keyless entry. Yeah, South Central Wisconsin. Well, good then. I approve of cows not being run over. Well, there is very much not a lack of Earthbound in the RPG limit break schedule, though. I shouldn't say schedule, because there isn't actually like a schedule yet, but there's a games list. We're going to have Earthbound Glitchless by Andy Perfect. Yeah, let me pull that up for anyone that hasn't seen it yet. There's the game list there. It'll be 5 days of RPG goodness starting on May the 12th of next year. Yeah, or Vuligen's much more efficient link. The Yuffie Warp, I like that. Yeah, I PB'd by 6 seconds. I mean, this run had much better execution and worse luck, but I'll take that, because I'd rather have a PB where I didn't lose like 3 minutes to Bizarro Sephiroth. This was Fireworks percent FF7 too. It was my first dalliance with trying to do a chroma key on my timer too. Since even though I can't go to the gold saucer and see the fireworks cutscene in the Yuffie Warp route, you can at least have it on the stream layout. Yeah, Vidger, I got some I got a Mega Elixir and then duplicated it. So if that happens, then I can refill Cloud's HP, so he's back up to full fighting strength much faster, and then he should be able to. I mean, I do still need to test trying to recover from Cloud getting shadow flared, but I've got pretty high confidence that if I have Mega Elixirs, that I can salvage it if he does that, which isn't really super likely to begin with, because he has to target Cloud with Shadow Flare and then get past his pretty high magic evasion from the Bastille armor. I mean, another backup strat that I found was to get a destruct materia from the crazy chocobo lady in Midil, because if I cast destruct to break Sephiroth's barrier, then I can kill him in 8 hits instead of 11. But that actually makes it a pretty boring fight, though, which I'm not too big a fan of. Because then I can kill him before he pretty much does anything at all.